And now it's time for you to hear from some of our alumni who Elizabeth will interview for us. Welcome, alumni.
Thanks, Carolyn. I think this might be my favorite part because Carolyn and I could talk about this program all day long, but sometimes it's just better to hear from people who've actually gone through the actual experience. So for today, we have Emmanuel from Church Space and Vaughn from Unoma Haus, who are two incredible founders who I've been able to work with over this past year. So I have a couple of questions for you two. First of all, question for you both. Tell us a little bit about where you were with your startup pre Friends and Family and where you are now and everything that you've been able to accomplish since graduating from the program. Let's start with Emmanuel.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having us. It's good to see all of your faces again on the Slauson and the Grid side after a year. It's been a long time, but before Friends and Family, I like to say that Church Space was a little bit of a fluffy concept, a really good concept nonetheless, but fluffy, right? We had early traction, a lot of which was organic, and we kind of had a few nuts and bolts that were loose that Friends and Family really helped us to tighten up and get a greater sense of direction in terms of where we were going as a business. So today, without being super long-winded, we have officially opened up our pre-seed raise, which a lot of that is attributed to you guys. I know recently you just shot out a bunch of warm intro emails on behalf of Church Space to VCs that were out of the reach of our network. And we work with a lot of the EIRs up until this past week to kind of prepare for our raise. So it was a year-long relationship of folks on the Grid and the Slauson side continually helping us even after the program. We're about to go to market with a fully viable product and launch Church Space 2.0. And we are continuing to build a lot of traction. So we just got funded by Google. We just came out of an AWS accelerator, which was super exciting. And a lot of that traction was gained and the momentum was built as a result of Friends and Family. So I always like to say, as founders, a lot of times we think that the wins are all about, closing rounds and getting big checks, but it was really this like incremental win that we experienced with the Friends and Family program that put us in the right direction that we need to go. So hopefully that explains it. Do I have to introduce myself? Because I see people saying, what does Church Space do? Or is that another question?
You should plug it.
Oh,
now's the time.
Shameless plugs. Church Space in short is the Airbnb for churches. We help for churches to monetize their underutilized space as on-demand event, meeting, co-working, and commercial kitchen space. So we are literally transforming the #1 underutilized and most costly piece of property in America and re-engaging with communities in the process. So that's a little bit about Church Space.
What about you, Vaughn? Tell us a little bit about Unoma Haus and all the growth you've experienced with your business and as a founder.
First of all, I'm just excited there's almost 200 people on here. Secondly, Emmanuel has killed it since we started to now. Like, I've been watching his progress, so congratulations, brother. With me, when I first got into the program, for anybody who doesn't know me, I actually know a few people on here. I was basically creating a network of conversion vans that people could rent or own. And if they owned, they could also rent that out for income purposes. But it was really just to get the foot in the door to redefine housing. So with the program and the access to all of the advisors, all of the resources, we are now redefining the housing infrastructure by providing access to our homes through a subscription platform. And this includes access to a network of rental vans and smart modular homes that generate their very own microgrid. And actually today is perfect because it's a 2-year anniversary on the date of Unoma Haus. We just launched a new website. So everyone go check it out, connect with me on LinkedIn or wherever. But I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to answer any questions you guys have.
Oh, we're happy to have you and happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Second part of my question for you is, how have you grown? How has your business grown through the program?
Sure. Yeah, I think we actually had a slowing of van conversions, but I think it was really just the door opening for us to go to what we really want to do, which is building these modular homes, these smart modular homes. And it's given me time to work on a lot of the admin backend infrastructure, the website, launching the new website. We have now acquired a director of ops and design. She's incredible. And she wrote me an email shortly after I ended the accelerator program. And she basically left her job to come work with me, full equity base. She's on the team, she's committed, and she's amazing. So we've grown our team, we've hired interns, and the next step is actually opening our pre-orders for our modular homes that we'll start production on next year.
Nice, that's dope.
That is super exciting. Next question that I have is, I think there might be some people on this call who maybe have just heard about us today or randomly saw us on the interwebs. So if you could recap your friends and family experience in like a minute or two of like what it's like to be in the program, what should people expect when they get in? Did anything surprise you? Any favorite moments? Any favorite memories? The floor is all yours.
Yeah, I'll take a stab at this first. A lot of favorite memories, a lot of favorite moments. I think so I'll summarize the program in kind of one word, right? And I'll say it's real. I think on the Grid 110 and the Slauson side, there's not like two groups of people who are more authentic and passionate and sincere in their mission of dispersing wealth and capital more evenly across underrepresented founders. And one thing that was important for us at ChurchSpace is that we learned how to match that realness and that authenticity, because sometimes as an underrepresented founder, a Black and brown founder, you show up into a room and you automatically feel underqualified. You feel that imposter syndrome. You feel like I have to put on the best version of myself all the time because I'm not even sure if I should be in this room right now. So we had to learn how to kind of dismantle that mindset, right? And for us, it was not forcing ourselves to this American standard of Black excellence, but understanding that it was okay not to have it all together, because in fact, that's where some of the greatest moments in the program came from. The mentorship, the network connections that really helped us to grow to the next level as a business was because we had to recognize like ChurchSpace wasn't where we thought that we had to make it seem like it was. Outside of that, some of the favorite memories for us was meeting Jonathan from Airbnb, the former CMO. Like there couldn't be a more aligned connection for us. And I would say that like everyone that you guys bring into the program are equally as aligned in their passion for underrepresented founders and kind of dispersing that wealth, right? So Jonathan was really open to having follow-up conversations with us after that initial time meeting him during the program. So that was really cool. And a favorite memory, I think one of the last sessions we had when we were all crying, I don't really cry much, but I definitely got a little teary-eyed in that last session, I think, which was mostly centered around like authenticity and transparency and really being real in terms of our position as Black and brown and underrepresented founders. So those were some of my favorite memories during the program, and I would do it again. I would apply again if we could. So if you guys have like something else for alumni up your sleeve, please let us know, because that application will be in ASAP. That's how much I loved it.
What about you, Vaughn?
Yeah.
How are you going to top that?
I know, right? Emmanuel basically described everything. I would say from a different approach, when I did apply, yes, the money was attractive, but as I've expressed to a lot of the Slauson and Grid team, that I really wanted to get into the program for the network. The people that are comprised of both organizations are incredible, and the people that they bring in are even more amazing. And so to have access to these lifelong advisors. Like I still book office hours, even though the program is over. And that is the real gold right there. And I see some people asking about the application process or if they should apply. And honestly, I have to say, if you aren't disqualified from anything, you meet all the conditions, apply. A no is better than nothing is what I always say. So please do that. In terms of the actual program, one of my favorite things was, I think, the unfiltered access to information, whether it be the speakers that they brought in or the ability to have candid conversations with advisors or team members. You don't get that often, especially as founders of color. And so to have access to that unfettered, at your will, a click of a button, that's where it really shined for me. And then on top of that, just the camaraderie, the building of teams, and the moments where you thought you knew your business, but you didn't. And now you have the platform and safe space to really grow that out and to mature your outlook on what you're doing and to refine things. But it's an amazing program. If I could apply again, I would. Honestly, like I would absolutely apply again. And I saw somebody else ask about my traction. I didn't have too much traction. I had a little bit, but also don't get discouraged from you not having traction to what you think you should have. Apply. Let them tell you no and move on versus not applying at all.
Thank you for all your kind words and your vulnerability. I have two more questions and then I will be done. My next question, which is a question we've been getting a lot, is about post-program support, because people are wondering, you know, once the 12 weeks are over, like what happens then? What does support look like afterwards? So maybe both of you could share like one or two things that have happened since graduating in terms of like office hours or workshops or events, or maybe you're staying in touch with people from your accountability group, but sharing a little bit about what that post-program support looks like for you.
Yeah, so I'm on the East Coast in New York, so I haven't been to too many LA events. I want to go. But the post-program support is kind of what helped us to get to where we're at as a business, right? So we crammed a lot in that initial 12-week program, but I think after is equally as important as the time commitment that you make into the program. So staying really connected to the advisors, to the EIRs, to everyone involved on both sides is super important. Like Vaughn said earlier, we still book office hours with Avery. She's awesome and still helping us to connect a lot of dots and put the building blocks together for our product today. And, you know, at every stage in the process as a founder, there's another level of growth, right? So just because you complete the 12-week program and you got the capital and you made a milestone in your business, like doesn't mean that you can't continue and take it to the next level. So we want to stay committed for that reason. And the amount of commitment that we show, I think friends and family kind of matches that and goes above and beyond. So I've had calls with Avery where she's just like picking her kids up from school and she's on Zoom with me and she's giving me an advice because I'm sweating about our product. I'm not sure how we're gonna develop the next version or the next stage. And, you know, they're all in. So you need to be all in and you need to match that. And I think for those of you who are accepted into the program, like wear as an honor, these are awesome people, awesome program. And the support is not just in 12 weeks, it's beyond, you know, it's like a forever thing. So.
Definitely echo that sentiment. It's a beyond the accelerator, as I mentioned. In terms of after the program, one of my favorite things was, you know, after the program, they asked for feedback. And I know we had founders all over the US, but I really wanted an in-person meetup. And so there were two main moments that happened after the accelerator. And one was actually meeting people from my accountability group and really getting to know them and actually finding out that they have the same friends I do, right? And then the second thing would be that I got to meet up with the people from these organizations in various settings and actually like talk to them and see them and see their smile and tell them thank you in person. That had a big impact on me as well. And I mean, I look forward to many more of those meetings because it is lifelong. Like I feel like I'm still in the accelerator. I've just graduated into this new realm, but I still have access to these amazing people.
Ah, you're gonna make me cry now. Okay, last question for you both. Because we get this sentiment every time we have applications open. There's still gonna be a couple of people who feel like they're not quite ready, or they feel like I'll wait it out until next year, or competition is too big anyways. What would you say to someone who's on this call right now and they kind of want to apply, but they're a little nervous, or they might be a little bit of imposter syndrome? What would you tell them?
I feel like Vaughn has a really good answer for this. But I mean, to be honest, like the space that we live in as founders and entrepreneurs, like I don't think that you'll ever be ready for anything. And traction is relative based off of your stage and how long you've been running the business. And if you started a month ago and you have 2 paying customers, like that's traction, and it's a different type of traction. And that may seem small to you from your perspective, but like that's traction, right? So I would say go for it. Don't hold back. Like Vaughn said, if it's a no, that's okay. Like you still have access to a great community. I know that Friends and Family does so many things to support outside of just this program, right? Like Grid and Slauson are always doing events. They're always doing things to engage with founders outside of this. So just getting a plug in to the community, I think is a win in and of itself. So apply. I think they do a really good job of vetting for great people, right? And allowing your most raw, authentic self to come through the application is important. And even if that means that you are a little apprehensive or you're scared, like let that show, and don't be afraid to just be authentically and unapologetically you, because I think those are the people who they're really looking for. Because everyone in our cohort was a little rough around the edges, brilliant minds, like just to be honest, right? Like I think we all were figuring out, oh snap, like we got some work to do, but we were just unapologetically us, and it created a great dope dynamic of founders who were all working together in the program.
Absolutely. Like you said, like I said before, a no is better than nothing at all. And just a quick show of hands, can everybody place a 1 in the chat if you are afraid or feel alone or intimidated by this process? We got quite a few people, right? I'm here to tell you that almost everyone being an entrepreneur feels alone at some time and is intimidated by anything at some time. But you're building your companies for a reason. And hopefully that's change. To affect change, you make money along the way, but to affect change. And so being that you are in a community or network of people who also feel alone, you come together and now you feel like you're a part of a family. Like that's why this is called Friends and Family. You guys come in alone and you leave with this entire network of amazing people that you can hopefully call on for the rest of your life. So you're not alone in this. You are just like every other entrepreneur starting something or moving to the next phase of your journey. And it has to be done. If you want growth, if you want something different, you have to move to that next stage, and Friends and Family might be it for you. So please apply. Don't, again, if you're intimidated, if you feel alone, if you're scared, do it anyway, right? Do the things that scare you the most and see what comes from that.
Oh, that was so inspiring. Last parting words from my end, because I saw the question pop up in the chat. about reapplicants, all of that. Apply, apply, apply. Even if you think you're too early or you're not there, don't think about it. Just close your eyes, just do it. We have a magical Grid 110 database where we keep track of everyone who's ever applied in the past. So even if you don't make it this round, you can apply in the future. And it's actually really great because we can see your process and all the traction that you've made since then. So regardless, I think you should all apply. Thank you so much, Emmanuel and Vaughn. I feel like we could talk for hours. I'm so proud of you both. I'm so excited to see what's next for you and the 177 people who are on this call. But back to Carolyn for now.